Okay, morning narrative coming in hot. We still have this protected high. All this internal movement means nothing if we cannot take and break this. That means that our expectation is actually lower. Is that viable? We have this low here at 351, that low at 362. So technically we haven't swept the liquidity out, but the expectation on this move was to do just that. Instead, what we got was we traded back into the range, okay, and then we actually accumulated rather than selling off. We had this huge spike up. So the market has tried and had ample opportunity to go below this August 5th low, where it was climactic off of the Japanese news. And instead, all we've got has been this higher time frame shove. And now what we're doing is we're creating a zone at the top of the range right underneath the protected high. So the expectation is actually to break that high, right? The issue with it that I have right now is that we've swept this high here. So we have some pretty strong dueling opinions. So if I go down to the 15-minute chart here, we can kind of see that this move ended properly, sweeping liquidity above, trading below. We found some support in the middle of this internal zone. Cool. We've now flipped structure again. And we're creating structure on the way up on this. Well, we're creating swings, but we're not creating structure. So should we fail inside of here, then we actually have the possibility of taking out everything at least to this low. So it's very interesting here. Should we have not gotten this failure, this higher time frame failure here, this high is really in jeopardy. It still is, in my opinion. But this is a major piece of information here. So what do we do? Essentially what we've got is we've got this larger zone here, right? We've now broken and closed above it. This is a protected high. So I'm looking at this area here as our bias. We have this candle with lots of liquidity underneath it, sure. But I'm expecting this area to hold if we're going to trade up higher. This is technically our last zone, but this will give us a lot of information if we trade back into it and then go on a rocket ship. But it's very possible that we trade back into this internal movement. Where that would come out to would likely be either in the middle of this consolidation here, or it would be after we've failed somewhere in here. If we trade above this high, the expectation would be at least to break the protected high and then determine whether we're going to sweep into there or not. We've got no news. We've got no news until Wednesday, where we have FOMC. So having a lethargic movement up rather than a strong one-directional drive would typically lead to a rejection somewhere in here, right? I'm more leaning towards our 15-minute zone that we've got from the end of July here. We've got this area here. You can see that there's clear consolidation in the middle of it. If we break this, we've got a little speed bump here, but quite honestly, we go right into the middle of this zone, which is also about the midpoint of the higher time frame zone here. Starting to see some signs of rejection. I do like this candle. It looks like that's yeah, so that top there. Ideally, but we'll see what our pullback brings, should we get one, which I'm assuming we will because we had this. Right? Slow grind after taking this high, expected, right? As we take structural highs, you guys see accumulation off of hourly or 4-hour highs. You get a little bit of accumulation after we take strong ones on lower time frames as well. So in terms of weekly candle narrative, the expectation is to take here, right? And now we're looking at what the weekly candle is doing. So if Monday opens, trades higher. Why is it doing that again? Come on. Monday opens, trades higher. Typically, you will have something like Monday consolidation after it trades up, consolidates Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Thursday might do this, and then Friday is kind of indecision as well, and that forms a doji, which is kind of what I expect coming into this week. I don't really expect us to go lower. We've already finalized our objective, right? And that's typically what you get with, we've got this strong movement twice. Consolidation should break the high, come back in to the area of high volume, and we'll kind of chop around a little bit after we've traded into this zone. See if this 15-minute can shove. It's a nice pullback from here. Pretty decent range so far. 120 points from 4 o'clock London. And then overnight was 170. 170, not bad.